So I've been thinking, what better way to dive into Blender than by recreating something super nostalgic? Today, we're bringing the Portal Companion Cube to life. And this is going to be a three-part series where I'll go through the whole process with you guys. Now, it's worth noting that this is not a step-by-step tutorial. The aim here is to show you how I think through each part of the process, like why I make certain decisions, how I solve problems, and just the overall creative flow. So whether you're here to learn Blender or you're just curious about how 3D models are made, I'm super excited to have you along for this ride. Let's make something cool. So to begin with, I collected some references. I'm gonna be mainly using this one for my modeling reference, while I use the other ones I collected for maybe texturing references or look and feel reference. So I have my reference here. I'm gonna rotate it 90 degrees on the x-axis. So you can tell that this cube is gonna have 6 faces, which are all the same. So let's start with making a base cube. I'm following the inside line of this cube right here. I'm gonna make another one and I'm gonna scale it up, follow the bigger outline. And then we can start doing the booleans and stuff like that. But let's try to figure out a way. See, the most important thing when it comes to modeling anything is planning. So I have 6 faces. Instead of doing 6 times the work, I can do it only once and duplicate it around. But we have to find a way to duplicate this. Let's look back at our references. We see the faces are exactly the same. But how do we duplicate? I can do mirrors, maybe. I can... Wait. Let's start with actually deleting these faces. By the way, if you guys can't tell, I'm improvising as we go, just so you get an idea of how these things are actually made from the grounds up. Anyway, I have my outlines. I can tell that there's like a boolean of a sphere, all of these lines leading to the middle. So let me separate these two, and I'm gonna add icosphere. Maybe give it a couple subdivisions. Let's go back to the front view and increase the size of it until it reaches this outside layer, and we're gonna have to find a way to know when it reaches also the inside of this. You see what I'm saying? Let me actually apply the boolean, and then we can see clearly where it leads. Okay, let me make this invisible in the viewport, or not invisible. Let me make it like a wire so I can see behind it. So now let me have a solidify for this one, just so we can see the thickness of it. Let me also change the snapping to vertex. Okay. So now it looks something like this. Now I can start scaling it this way. And we need this inner line to go with the inner line over here. Maybe scaling it is the wrong way to go. I think we maybe need to move it and then scale it up. And let's scale it up by our 3D cursor so we can make this easier. And I can see the lines. Okay, maybe we went too far outside. Let's go back inside, scale it down a bit. Let's go to the front view. Okay, the lines are good. You can see the lines. One is right here. Maybe it's hard to see with YouTube compression, but we can start seeing the lines. I think I need to go just a bit more out. Okay, this is very close. You can see here are the lines, this inner line and this outer line. They are not perfect, but they are close. They are close enough. Now I'm thinking about it, I think going with an icosphere wasn't the best choice. So I'm gonna add another sphere, which is gonna be a UV sphere. Rotate it 90 degrees. I'm also thinking about the topology of the model. And I'm gonna delete my icosphere. Let's make the viewport display as wire. And let's replace the boolean to this new sphere. Now let's look to the front view. And let's go with the wireframe view. Let me hide the switch to make it easier to see the outlines. I think this looks close. Maybe I can actually make it just a bit bigger, my sphere, like this. And now we can see that our lines are much closer to what we need. And the topology also looks fine. This topology is good. We can work with it. So now we can start thinking about the bigger shapes. Let me add a loop cut right here, and I'm gonna maybe bevel it up to here with the Control B bevel. Gonna do the same for this one. Let me try and delete all of these faces, and let's see what do we have now. Okay, we are... let me actually remove this to make it non-constructive and turn it into a solidify. And I'm gonna calculate the normals. Okay. Oh, this is not what I want actually. Oh yeah, I want my solidify to be before my boolean to have this shape right here. Okay, we're getting close. We can start seeing things similar to the shape we need. We need to add these small ones also. So let's duplicate this and remove all of these vertices. A lot of the time I just like to duplicate things that I already have and edit them instead of just adding new stuff. Makes the workflow much easier, I think. Okay, I'm gonna do the exact same thing, adding two loop cuts, selecting both of them, bevel them until they reach my desired size, and I'm gonna delete all of the outer ones. And let's see, what do we have now? Okay, this is not what I need. What's wrong here? Yeah, I think the problem is that this is way too close. Let's add another cube. So let's take both of these, every object I modeled so far, go to the right view, and let's go to X-ray. Wait, oh yeah, I need to also grab my Boolean object, and I can grab this now, take it up to here, and I need also my main object. It is lined up. So right now we have this. I think we're getting much closer to the shape we need. Let me make this boolean smaller. Oh no, sorry, not boolean, I meant solidify. Let's make it smaller. We don't need that much of a solidify. And also this one. Let's not overdo it with the solidifies. Okay, this is much better. It's much cleaner right now. Let's copy all of these and put them in a backup collection. And turn it off. And now I'm gonna apply the solidify and boolean on this one. Cursor at the word origin. Let's select all of these, set origin to 3D cursor, and now I can instance them and rotate them 90 degrees. And do the same thing again, rotate on the y-axis. Something is wrong here, but we can work on it, no problem. And we can do that again for the bottom side. Okay, so now whenever I edit one of these, I'm gonna be able to edit all of them. Another idea I'm having right now is to be smart about this as well and mirror only one angle of it. Add a mirror modifier to the X and Z. Now I can only edit one face, be able to edit all of them, all of the faces even on every side. Let me just actually copy the modifier to the rest of the objects. Okay, so let's make this a bit smaller like that. Maybe I can just model one of them and duplicate it all over the model. The same goes for this one. Since I also need to have bevels all around, you know. I didn't copy the modifier for the upper one. Okay, this is a good time to think again. How are we gonna do the rest of this? Now our big issue is the bevels all around and the modeling. Currently the modeling is very, very bad. Everything is overlapping. So I might just take 3 of these, copy them, and isolate them. I'm gonna take all of this, convert it to mesh, join them all together. I'm gonna delete all of these because I don't need them. I only need the one corner. And now let's correct the modeling of just this one corner so we can apply it to every other one. Okay, it's not gonna be easy, but we can do it. Just gonna why are I think I am complicating things. Let's just delete all of these vertices. Delete this one, delete this one, delete this one as well, and this one. Let's merge the ones that are left. I need to fill the whole thing as one face, and then I can do this and this. Should be fine. Let's do the same for this one and do this. Okay, this face is already one big face. This one, this one, this one. So this, if I go back, is now a fixed model. So now I can remove all of these and find a way to duplicate this one on every side. Oh yeah, I haven't filled this face as well. We will do the same for this one, But let's just find a way to duplicate this. It should be very easy to do a mirror on the Y and Z. Mirror works very perfectly for this. As you can see, we just took this one object and duplicated on every corner of our mesh. And now we'll do the exact same thing. Let's take all of them, isolate them, and I will join them. I will delete every single one instead of this. So I will grab this. I will Control I to invert my selection, delete all, and now I'm gonna snap them to each other. Then I will delete the unnecessary extra faces. And now I'm gonna merge by distance. I don't need inside faces. It's actually better geometry to not have inside faces, just like I did with the other objects. So let's just fill this side and that side. Do the same thing with the geometry. Make it cleaner. I'm gonna apply an auto smooth. Now I don't need this one anymore. It's already in my archive. I can add the same mirror modifier. Let's hope it works. Okay, it didn't work because it's not a corner, but it's very easy. I can just instance this and go 90 degrees. I'm gonna instance it again. So now I can replace all of these cubes inside ones with a big cube. Oh, this looks nice actually. I'm gonna replace them with an actual cube. I'm gonna go to the front and scale it up until it reaches my point. So now we can work on the bevels correctly. Let's see. Maybe we can try to add a bevel modifier. I'm gonna select certain edges, not every edge to be beveled. So let's try that. Let's go to item, mean bevel weight, full, and I'm gonna change this to work only on weight. Okay, something is not adding up here. Let's look at our references again. It's a straight face. Both of these are straight, no curvatures. So maybe I can just add a cube here. A cube like this. Let's add a boolean to our object before everything. Let's change the viewport display of our object to wire. And let's look again. So it starts right here. So let's do that. It starts right here. Let's take our 3D cursor and it ends right there. So it should be like that. But how are we gonna make that work for both sides? Yeah, this is not the easiest part to deal with. Yeah, it is. This makes things easier. Let's take it again. Maybe apply it right here. And so the ones that I need are like this. And like, let's delete this one as I don't need it. And let's copy our boolean again. And let's do one last one right here. And we should be close to finished. That's correct. It's looking great, but there is still one missing right over here. So let's copy this boolean object. Let's rotate it 90 degrees and put it up there. Make sure it's right on the edge. Maybe there's another one missing. Yes, it's right there. So let's copy this one again and ruin everything. I will add just another boolean object. This turned out to be way more complicated than I thought. I have all of the right angles. I'm gonna copy this, add it to my archives. I'm gonna have all of these booleans also added to my archive. Okay, apply booleans, and now our object looks like this. And I cannot bevel them correctly. Let's merge by distance and make that distance just a tiny bit bigger. Yeah, there we go. Okay, I'm getting somewhere. I'm getting very close to what I need here. What if we increase the bevel? Yes, exactly, that's what we need. We just need, if as you can see, this point right here, make it all the way to the edge, and will be good. So I can always apply my bevel and just drag it. So let's try this way first. See if it works. Works fine. Let me just merge all of my vertices again. So we are done with this part. Let's think about this other one. And this one has a bevel right on this edge. Let's do the easiest one first. This bevel right here. Let's see from the front view how does it look like. Close enough. Let's go. And now just do a simple bevel. Grab all of them. Go to the front view and bevel all of it. Let's flatten. Yeah, this is what I'm going for. So I think we're almost done. Wait, something's wrong with this. Oh yeah, when I flattened that one, it ruined the other one. So let's just fix it. There we go. Now it looks fine. So we can now add the final touches. I don't need to do it as a boolean. I can just do this. Grab all of them. Let's see how wide is it. Let's bevel this. And now there's a simple neat trick, which is an alt. Extrude faces along normals. Finally add our last shape, which is the circle with a heart inside of it. How does it look like in game actually? It's just a texture. So I'm gonna go with the in-game model for now, which is just a texture. I think even this one is just a texture actually. But yeah, we've already modeled it. It's fine. Let's go with this one. I'm gonna go with a UV sphere also. Let's take it outside first. Rotate it 90 degrees. Scale on the Z, on the local Z axis. Let's see how big is it. It's about this big. Shade smooth. And stick it inside of our box. Let's see what the mirror does for this object. Okay, it will mirror it only once, so I'm gonna have to do the other sides manually like this. Let's do just a bit more optimization. I'm gonna delete all of the inside faces of this circle, and it should be much more optimized. Let's see our scene statistics actually. 2500 faces, which is good. We can still optimize it much more, of course. And that's it for part 1. We've got our companion cube fully modeled and ready for the next step. I had a blast breaking this down with you guys, and I hope it gave you some insights on how I approach 3D modeling in Blender. Remember, there's infinite techniques on how these things are made. I am 100% sure that there is a better way to do this, just as there are worse ways to do this. Anyway, in part 2, we'll dive into texturing and materials. This is where the cube really starts to come to life. So if you're excited to see how we add those iconic pink hearts and give it the Portal vibe, make sure to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss it. And thank you for watching.